I think you've been building your business on someone else's foundation, someone else's strengths without even realizing it. And you've been watching what works for other photographers and doing your best to replicate it and wondering why it feels exhausting and then blaming yourself when it doesn't produce the same results. So today I want to show you why that is the real problem. Not your photos or the marketing, how you're implementing their education, the economy, AI. It's the strategy, or more specifically, who that strategy was built for. I'm Kari Joy. I've had my wedding photography business for over a decade. I created this channel to help photographers build the business beyond the photos by turning your strengths into scalable strategies. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you've been enjoying this content. Today we're going to walk through something that I like to call business superpowers. We're going to talk about what they are, how to identify yours, and why building your business around your natural strengths is the single biggest shift you can make in your business today to start growing, getting more inquiries, gain confidence, and have longevity in your business. And by the end of this video, you can take the free quiz so you can start knowing today exactly what your superpower is and how to implement it. So let's start with what even is business superpowers, because it is actually not about being the most talented with your camera, your skills, your editing style. Learning your business superpower helps you to find alignment in every area of your business. You'll begin building a business catered to how you naturally work and operate. The business superpower is a set of natural strengths and deep-rooted abilities you were born with. The ones that not just make you powerful, but they separate you from all the other photographers. It's the patterns in how you think, the way you naturally solve problems, the energy you bring into a room or on a call or into a gallery reveal. It's the things that come really naturally to you, but they actually feel extraordinary to your clients and even other photographers. Here's a way I love to think about it. 80% of photographers can learn the same techniques that you've learned. Put them through the same training, you can put them through the same workshops, presets. They'll get similar results, and maybe 50% of people with that same approach and practice level can end up doing what you do. But there's 5% of you that's genuinely you that no one can copy. Not the way you do things, and the thing that no one else can fully replicate, because it comes from who you actually are. Natural strengths that you possess that just flow out of you. And when you identify what those things are and you build your business around it, everything shifts. Marketing stops feeling like performance and just like you stop avoiding it, which I know that feeling, and it just becomes a natural extension of who you are. So when you identify what that 5% is and you begin to build your business around it, everything shifts. Marketing stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling naturally aligned with you, and it becomes a lot more natural. Your confidence replaces comparison, and clarity replaces the chaos in your business, and you stop looking outward at everyone else's strategies and highlight reels, and you actually know how to start building something inside of your business that's going to work for you and bring in more clients. If you haven't taken the free Business Superpowers quiz yet, the link is in the description below. It just takes a few minutes, and it's going to tell you what superpowers are yours and help you identify the inquiry strategy that fits best for how you naturally operate. So I'm gonna be super straightforward with you here. Most photographers I talk to have been doing this. What they're doing is they're building their business on borrowed strategy, and they don't even know it. So let me walk you through the signs of what this looks like. Sign number 1, you're constantly pivoting in your business. New pricing, new offers, branding, editing style. Every few months you feel like you have to update something because nothing has been working or feeling quite right. And you keep thinking that the next change is going to be the one that finally makes everything click, but it doesn't happen. Sign number 2, you feel jealous instead of inspired when you look at other photographers' work. And I say this without judgment because I think we've all been there. But when you see someone else thriving, your first response is, why is that not happening to me? And that's your signal that you're measuring yourself against a blueprint that was never made for you. Sign number 3, you're busy, but you're not booked. You're posting every day, and you're updating your website, and you're working on SEO, and you're doing all of the things you were told to do, but still, it's crickets. No inquiries are coming in, and nothing's booking. And that's the biggest difference between activity and alignment in your business. Sign number 4, you feel drained just thinking about marketing. It feels like a job you don't want to do, it's overwhelming, and you constantly have to make yourself show up. You kind of feel a little bit lazy, but it's probably not laziness, it's misalignment. Sign number 5, you overinvest emotionally in every outcome. Every client who doesn't book feels like a personal jab, like they're rejecting you, rather than being able to ask, was this even my ideal client? Or where can I improve to get this booking next time? None of that happens, you just spiral. Don't build your business on the most popular strategies that everyone is saying you have to do to grow your business. I learned this the hard way, because for a long time, I really believed what I kept hearing. You can't succeed as a photographer unless you're posting on social media and showing up every day. If you didn't do that, then you wouldn't get inquiries and you'd be falling behind. So I did it. I posted consistently, I tried to grow, I did everything that I was told. And the more I did it, the more drained I felt. Not just tired, but genuinely depleted. And the worst part was that I wasn't even spending time on other parts of my business that actually mattered and would move the needle forward. Social media was eating up all my time and motivation. So I made a decision that felt really risky at the time, but I totally stopped using social media as my primary marketing strategy. Completely. And instead of looking for the next tactic, I took time to assess and just ask myself, what am I naturally good at? And what do I naturally enjoy doing? How can I implement that into my business? And what I discovered is that I'm a connector. I'm a storyteller. I'm someone who loves to build deep trust through real relationships and through genuine conversation. So the reason that social media wasn't working for me wasn't because I wasn't trying hard enough or that I was doing it wrong. It's because I genuinely couldn't connect the way I like to connect personally and authentically through a grid of curated posts. I couldn't figure that out. And listen, some connectors actually thrive here, but for me, I didn't. So instead of forcing a strategy that wasn't built for me and that was sucking the life out of me, I rebuilt around my strengths. I made my website the first handshake into my business. I created what's called a lazy river, which is basically a path that leads dream clients through my website directly into inquiring with me. I invested into my SEO so that the right people could actually find me, and I leaned more into my vendor relationships and built real partnerships with these people who I serve alongside with, who had the same ideal clients that I did. And I began thriving because there was alignment and everything changed when I stopped forcing a strategy that wasn't the right fit for me. And I started building from who I actually am. I started getting a completely booked calendar, and it was easier. Here's the thing that most business coaches and photography educators aren't telling you. When they teach you the strategy that worked for them, the one that helped them have a fully booked calendar and have 10K months, they're teaching you how they got there, but they're leaving out a critical piece. They built their business based on their strengths. That's why it works so well for them. It's the way they think, the way they create, the way they naturally connect with the people and world around them. And that strategy worked beautifully for them. But maybe you're borrowing their foundation and their method and trying to get success with it. And maybe you've been able to imitate it for a season, but it's not sustainable because you're not aligned with your business at a deep level, and that is creating foundation issues. Borrowed strategy is never sustainable, and when it doesn't work, you blame yourself instead of recognizing the real problem, that you were just running someone else's race, and so you keep looking outward for the next tactic, the next mentor, the next secret, when the whole time the answer was inside of you. That creates what I call strategic misalignment. And misalignment always leads to burnout. You're not behind, you're not bad at business, and you haven't failed if you haven't given up. And you're absolutely not alone in this. So many photographers are feeling this way. So let's dive into the 5 business superpowers. So we're going to be talking just a quick overview of the 5 business superpowers. The visionary, known as the artist, the hustler, also the organizer, The connector, also known as the storyteller. There's the strategist, who's also known as the analytical thinker, and the innovator, also known as the dreamer. So each one has a completely different way of showing up in business, even though there are a lot of crossovers. Each carries different strengths, different viewpoints, marketing styles, and ways of connecting with clients and other vendors. And yes, different blind spots, places where you might be working against yourself without even realizing it. So let's dive into these. The visionary is the artist of the industry. They build their business through beauty, creative vision, and an almost obsessive commitment to their craft. They're not on Pinterest looking up poses. They're out in the field creating new, inspiring ones. Their work speaks before they ever say a word. And often, they're the ones that are setting trends that everyone else eventually follows, the trends that last. They are genius at photo curation and creating a real luxury experience. But their blind spot is the back end. Systems, strategy, follow through, that's where things can get a little messy. They get lost in creative flow and they have a hard time shifting from creative to business mode. So emails go unanswered, workflows feel a little chaotic, the work is stunning, but the business side, that needs some attention. Next is the hustler. This is the organized, efficient, reliable person. Clients trust them because they show up every single time and they're very consistent. They're constantly thinking about growth, learning new poses, updating contracts, replying to emails quickly, and improving their skills. They put in the work full stop. But their blind spot is that they never actually stop. They're always plowing forward. And then they think, when things finally slow down, I'm gonna deal with this problem. But the issue is that things never slow down. They're always busy and they never fully step back to assess their business and see what's actually working and what's not working. They aren't strategically planning for the future because they never prioritize slowing down and taking time to do so. They're always on top of their tasks, but rarely feel completely on top of their business. Next is the connector. Connectors are magnetic. They're natural storytellers and quickly feel like the friend that you've always had. Clients trust them quickly and vendors love them. And people genuinely relax and open up the moment that they're around. There's a warmth and an ease about them that makes the whole experience feel really effortless and welcoming. And naturally, it translates into bookings, referrals, and loyal clients. You were built for photography because you naturally see and tell stories so well. Stories sell, and this business is selling the capturing of others' personal stories. But your blind spot is that because things came so naturally in the beginning, you might begin thinking that everything you're doing just works and you don't ever implement real strategy. So if bookings ever slow down or stop coming in, you might not know why, because your business grew so quickly in the beginning and you seem to have unending referrals. But then one day the referrals may dry up. And if you're not strategic about how to consistently get those, then your business might dry up. The opportunity here is learning to be intentional with your business as you are with people. Next is the strategist. This is the natural business thinker. They understand marketing and they love tracking their numbers and they love analyzing what's working and what's not, and they can optimize accordingly. Put them in any business environment and they will find a way to grow it, succeed, and really understand it because that's just the way they think. Their blind spot is often their technical skill though, translating into real connection. They've gotten so good at the business side that the technical side doesn't seem to matter in them getting bookings. So they may have settled for just good enough when they're behind the camera, but as they scale and start attracting higher level clients, their photos need to be able to support the brand that they've built. The strategy is there, but the art and the skill needs to catch up. I've seen this with a lot of photographers who grow quickly and start charging $8,000 plus for weddings, but yet they're still struggling to capture images across various settings, and they have challenges in delivering consistent galleries.
Stop touching your mic.
Next is the innovator. This person is always 10 steps ahead, bold, unconventional, willing to try things that no one else is trying yet. They're also trendsetters, but they're the funky ones. Think direct flash, motion blur, Dutch tilt, the kind of work that makes some people gasp in awe and others roll their eyes. Their blind spot is really discernment. Not every wild idea belongs in their brand. Some ideas are just fun, creative experiments that real clients do not want hanging on their walls. Some ideas and moves are incredibly brand-defining moments that shift and challenge the entire industry. Think about when digital cameras first came on the scene. Now they're so popular and everyone's doing it, and then now people are going back to film. The challenge is just knowing the difference. They have no shortage of really fun and amazing ideas, but they often forget that the business exists to serve clients. And if they're not careful, they can end up serving their own creative agenda above their clients, and this could kill their business. Maybe as I read through these, you identified with a lot of them across different categories. As a business owner in photography, that's pretty normal. However, there is one mindset you operate from the most. And when you know which one you are, you can stop building your business the way everyone else says you need to or that you think to, and you can start understanding yourself and building your business from that place of your strengths. The photographers who seem the most confident and most booked out and seem like they have it figured out. They don't have a magic formula. They've actually just found themselves. They've discovered how they naturally operate, and then they have built their business around that. They don't copy the people around them. Instead, they started creating systems that work for them. And you can do exactly the same thing by implementing your business superpowers into your business. So here's what I want you to actually do this week. Not someday, start this week. Take the free Business Superpowers quiz. The link is below in the description, and it only takes a few minutes, and it's going to tell you which business superpower is yours, where you're likely working against yourself, inquiry strategies that might really align with how you naturally operate also. This is going to be your starting point. Everything else builds from your strengths. So take this test and start learning about yours today. Number 2 is audit the thing that you're currently doing in your business that feels draining. What is the thing that is the most draining? Is it your marketing, dealing with the kind of clients that you're attracting, thinking about money? Write it down. So use your business strengths to be able to take what feels the most draining and assess it and figure out, how can I view it from a different angle? Am I using someone else's strategy that they said works for them? Or can I be creative for a minute and learn what my strengths are and be able to apply that to this area and either totally shift and not have to do this in my business anymore to grow, or can I just change how I'm doing it and the perspective in which I see it so it no longer becomes draining but can actually come into full alignment with the rest of my business. The last thing that I want to leave you with, if you've ever looked at another photographer and thought, why does it seem to be so easy for them but it's so hard for me? I want you to know that the difference probably isn't talent, it's alignment. They've built something that fits who they are. Their whole business is around it. And you deserve the same thing. Not a copy of someone else's business, but your own business, uniquely built around you and your strengths and your personality and your way of connecting with people. That's not just better for your bookings, it's better for your life. It's way more sustainable, it's way more fulfilling, and it's way more you. So stop trying to copy other methods and start building from who you actually are, and watch what begins to happen in your business. You're gonna have so much more fulfillment, joy, and alignment. If this video resonated with you, I would love to know. Also, drop your superpower in the comments after you take the quiz. I read every single comment, and if you know a photographer who's also been grinding really hard and frustrated by not seeing the results, share this video with them. They just might need to hear this today. I'll see you in the next video.